Welcome back to Heavenly Sword. Alright, now we're about to get another boss battle.
Oh, are we about to see another one of that boss entourage we saw with...
Well, yeah, that cutscene for Goofy as it was actually the presentation of the villains.
Oh yeah, I get that. It's just that...
It's not always a thing that happens, sometimes it does.
I guess we're taking on the girl this time.
Yeah, the fish, the angler fish witch.
Oh god, that face.
So her name is Whiptail.
Whiptail.
Bait and trap.
Whoa, what's going on with your voice, honey?
And of course she talks in because she's a snake.
I need to be on brand, Pedro.
Yeah. Great.
What is going on with this music?
Great.
Again, also I to mention, I can't ignore how inconsistent the subtitles are in terms of how they are in relation to the screen. There's barely any border or a shadow put on them.
Yeah.
They are barely readable when it comes to open areas with a lot of light.
To answer your question, Jova, I think Nitin Thorne decided he wanted to play guitar on his violin. Or cello, as you do.
But yeah, once again, more yet another assortment of more mooks for me to tackle. Which
notice they all move in a uniform position as if they're one sole AI.
Remember, Jova, around these years, the first Assassin's Creed also was released, and the enemies behave historically in that series in a similar pattern. Although, to be fair, it's a remnant also of the Prince of Persia. It's just a thing that there are more enemies on the screen.
yeah.
It's not the worst thing, but it is a noticeable age change.
Again, I'm trying to think. I think yes, the Sense of Time was the one that premiered this kind of particular behavior of enemies, dancing around you in this particular manner, attacking you roughly one at a time.
The main difference is
the first God of War actually had the enemies behave in a relatively different manner.
I will say this. If Sands of Time did this, they had a much better way of, masking this issue.
They were also less enemies on the screen.
Well, yeah, that's one of the main things.
Although it makes it noticeable for having the boss fight against the king to be that one potential pain in the ass because they are respawning, moves constantly, and you can create a problem similar to these.
Indeed.
I wish that the game had more sweeping motions to it that would allow you to attack multiple enemies.
I think I get what you mean, because even with the double, the proper form of the Heavenly Sword, the Abbey style, the swings that you perform are mostly diagonal or vertical, never a horizontal one that cleans a bit around the area. It does remind me of something, since, I finally bothered to play myself and test a bit all the weapons. One of my favorite moves from the original release of Nier Replicant, believe it or not, was not kept when the gameplay overall happened in the 1.2 version. It's a bit tough to explain, but to be estimating as I can. When Papa Nier roll with the spear, my favorite weapon to use, when Papa roll does an attack right after a roll, the motion is like an horizontal arc in front of him, 45 degrees in front of him, which is perfect for crowd control. Now, with the updated gameplay of 1.32, which is more snappy and agile, instead it performs a quick couple of stabs in front of him, which means it's perfect for single enemies, but again, it doesn't cover much of a vast area, and in fact, using the spear is not super recommended. If anything, the new meta for Replicant 1.22 is ironically the one-hand sword.
The reason I feel this game needs a bigger sweeping move is because, aside from the issue that enemies can sometimes gang up on you in an unfair bout in this game, when they're not ganging up on you, it seems like they can become quite a chore to take out bit by bit by bit, because you don't have any wide sweeping moves that can really take out that much.
Because the Musou genre was already roughly enough, at least a very minimal starting to be popular around this point.
It's like I said,
Tecmo Koei had a general idea on what to do in terms of actually killing a lot of enemies at the same time.
It's like I said, Jova, I really get the feeling that this is done to pad the game out as much as possible because they knew that their game wasn't particularly long.
And again, to also showcase, look how powerful our console is because we have so many enemies on the street at the same time. But that's also because, remember, the Xbox 360 made a point with Dead Rising.
Cutscene.
All right, you gonna fight us now?
Oh no.
Okay. You know the weird thing? The subtitles emphasize the S, but it doesn't sound like she's always emphasizing the S.
I get the idea that it might have been in the script, but the voice actress did not manage to replicate them enough. And
Which
the voice
is
actor
weird.
was like, good, let's keep that.
The weird thing is, she's supposed to be an anglerfish. Why is she doing the snake thing of emphasizing the S's?
Because she has a snake motif.
Nariko, why do you still care? This guy has done nothing but be a horrible person for you for literally
I guess because he raised her and
the
there's some
blue!
familiar
Jesus
love.
Christ.
Oh, and he's fine.
Oh yeah, this is where Nariko learns the truth.
Oh, so she didn't know.
Nope. And now that she does know, yeah, to her credit, she does now get more mad at him, at least. Well, I can't
How did you know?
Well, at the very least, the actress is having fun. So there's
If anything, this revelation, anything wishes I was playing Jack 3 instead, because something like that happens in that game and is much better.
Okay, here's my question. We know it's true, but Nariko doesn't seem to question how this.
Yeah, well, you're the
girl
villain. Why
knows.
should I believe you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, I guess it's because Shen is not denying it.
Why doesn't he though? Like, I mean, granted, maybe he feels an immense amount of guilt. It's just, I don't know. This whole thing feels random, like it came out of nowhere.
I really get the feeling Tameen is a huge fan of Ulk 2003.
2003, yeah, I mentioned it in the first part. It's weird because I think if I
Wait. So she's not mad he tried to kill her. She's mad that he didn't kill her.
Well, again, considering how bad she was mistreated over the years, I get the idea, considering she did ultimately choose to pick the sword, I get the idea Nariko doesn't have much interest to remain in this world for long.
I can understand that. It's just like, well, I feel like the point of the revelation would have been to make her mad at him because he tried to kill her, not mad that he didn't kill her. If anything, it's her going, wait, you mean my father has always wanted to kill me? This is the happiest moment of my life, with how that's going about. It's all weird, but yeah, oh, I see. She's the water boss.
Basically, when she throws out that wave, like the game just told you, you're supposed to use ranged attacks, like so. Basically, basically strike the waves with a ranged attack, as in an attack from a long distance, in case you forgot. After that, it's a matter of just getting to her and just whacking her. The only real major neg is that starting with, from this point on, all the bosses in this game will have free life bars, which again does come across as once again the game trying desperately to really pad out the playing time. Like so. There you go.
Let me put it like this. If you have a very impressive game loop and like a ton of different variety, that is encouraged by them. Just having the variety isn't enough. The game has to be good and encouraging enough to use that variety, because if a lot of the quote-unquote variety just amounts to moves that do the same amount of damage and don't really have an advantage over any other maneuver, then it doesn't really do as much. I'm just gonna say, Metal Gear Rising this ain't. Like, Metal Gear Rising has a simple gameplay. Oh. Okay. Kinky.
Not really.
So basically, the way this works is there's a cutscene every time you deplete one of our life bars, basically.
Again, phases transitions.
I'm guessing she calls her sister because she's one of those women who calls a fellow woman sister, or is it a reference?
It's kind of like the whole. I get the feeling it's kind of like the whole preach it brother type of thing. Like she calls her sister as in like, you know, like
fellow woman.
Yeah.
It's an okay. It's the villain. In this case, a villain trying to. Oh Jesus! Trying to literally get under the skin of Nariko by using referring to her in a more very personal, term. Again, it's not. As Pedro said, a lot of people, a lot of characters do that in fictional stories. It's a sort of a psychological mechanism.
Basically.
Of saying, oh, I don't care. I don't care about you.
I guess the weird vibes I'm getting from this character is like, well, so she's the one who reveals this big, heavy anvil of information on Nariko.
A reverse!
Okay, that was actually pretty cool, but I think the weird thing about this character is, like, granted, maybe there's more to her that we haven't seen yet, but it feels weird that she's the one to give the big plot reveal and whatnot. Granted, I'm surprised we managed to rescue Shen
great
this early
camera
into the
work.
game.
Yeah, that's another thing. The camera work in this game can get really bad because remember, Teo, you can't use the camera with the analog sticks. Instead, you can only move it slightly to the left or slightly to the right with the shoulder buttons. So
usually it's always fixed.
So, yeah, the camera can be a real problem sometimes. Because remember, you can't. It's not like I can lock on her or anything. So, yeah, if the boss gets away from the center of the screen, I'm pretty much fucked.
So what you're telling me is that the real boss fight isn't the boss, but the cameraman.
Probably, yeah. Okay. Let me talk about that new water attack that she's throwing right now. That water attack that she's throwing right now, while out of the distance. Yeah, you're gonna see in a moment right now. Hold on. Yeah, the first is the wave, but I think she's gonna throw. Yeah, this one. This attack is very hard to dodge. Why? Because it's very quick, and even if you dodge it, see, I did press the dodge button, but as you can see, I didn't dodge it fast enough.
Aren't you supposed to parry it?
No, well, not that the game has told me. Well, not that the
tried to do that, but he got knocked back.
Yeah, I tried it the first time too, but the game hasn't said anything. If that helps you, but the point is. Yeah, like so. You have to be very quick when you want to dodge that shit. Like, basically, if you start seeing her doing that attack, immediately mash the right stick so you can dodge the fuck out of the way, because that attack is fast as fuck. Not to mention...
It's definitely that the controls are too sluggish for a lot of this reaction stuff.
Not so much that. It's, to me, it's more so the fact that she usually does it right after a wave. See? She usually does it right after a wave, and since breaking the wave causes the screen to flash white, it can be a bit hard to see the attack coming. You know what I mean? That being said, this boss is not.
Snappy,
yeah.
Though.
Sure, I understand. That being said, this boss is not, in the grand scheme of things, this boss is not too bad. I mean, there's vases over there to recover your health. As long as you can parry things, you should be fine. I actually do think this is a better boss battle than the previous one, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That said, Nariko, did you seriously try to drown the literal fish girl?
Even the villain told her to the face, like, what you thought was not going to happen.
And even Nariko...
Yeah.
Okay, now we actually...
And this is going on.
Basically, in between the final phase and the second phase, there's actually a section with Kai. Kai is actually my favorite character, both story-wise and gameplay-wise, because her shooting sections are a nice break from the action, because I find the action very repetitive.
No, he is not just going to die after we saved his ass.
Sadly, Jova, he will survive this somehow.
Because he didn't know that Kai was there.
Actually, I think Jova was expressing negativity if he died.
All right, so like before, use your after I forgot its name, the after thing, to aim the arrows at the guys, basically.
Magical powers of that allows the arrow to traverse the way they want.
Kai's arrows always one-shot people, so you'll be fine.
Let me elaborate, Dwibs. I mean, as a character, Shen sucks, so I wouldn't be too broken up if he dies, but it would be kind of really lame if he dies literally after we just finally saved him in the game.
If it helps the Dwibs, as the game just put it, we're supposed to protect Shen, so we're actually supposed to keep him from dying.
That said, he sure looks like he has one foot in the grave right now.
It's very
He's
easy.
busy on escort mission.
Yeah, it's very easy though, so don't worry, you'll be fine. Like, thanks to this technique, you can very easily just kill them instantly, so you'll be fine. It's at the very least a nice break from the action, because I find Nariko sections to be very repetitive. Go on, Joe.
How did that not hit the guy? That went right through him.
To be fair, that
Hit detections, the like of which we haven't seen since Dark Souls.
yeah, the hit detection can be a bit iffy sometimes. Not to mention, like I said, Jova, despite you having the option to use the analog stick, the controls for these things is still not optimal.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
Can you hit the enemy in the arse?
Yes, you can. I did that before, actually. It doesn't matter.
Produce unique results.
Yeah,
so it's not sniper elite.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you hit them, Dubs. As long as you hit them, they'll just die.
You know the good quality of a game centered on sniping, if actually fracturing the testicles of a victim produces a unique.
It's kind of interesting because even fucking GoldenEye, a Nintendo 64 game, had different reactions for enemies depending on where you shoot them. So you'd think a more advanced game would have that shit too,
This
but
might take a while.
come on.
How is he still stumbling around all this time?
There you go.
If I recall correctly, this was the point where I actually had to take a pause because again, when I played this, I was basically kind of speed running through it, and I had no idea you could turn off the 6-axis thing. So as you can imagine, this section was kind of stressing me out a lot.
Oh, it was. Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah. There you go.
Bonk.
Like if
I'm surprised none of the mooks have thought, "Hey guys, somebody's sniping us from
To
up
be
there."
fair, these one are armed with only swords, so they cannot do anything.
Well, true, yeah, but what's stopping them from trying to climb up and get her first before running out
That's
there?
one of the tricks about a sniper. Always get an advantageous position.
I wondered.
I thought you were gonna fire at at him.
Oh, there's an enemy behind. I didn't know.
I was wondering, is it actually possible to shoot and kill Shen?
I haven't tried it.
I actually forgot how long actually could the arrows traverse. Usually, when there's this kind of mechanic, usually there's only so much of a time. It's kind of like similar to the remote control batarang in the Arkham games, where after a while it just goes on its own.
All right. Oh, there it is. Wow, the draw distance. Yeah, the draw distance in this game can be a bit bad. Seriously, I wasn't able to see that guy at all until he was right in front of my arrow. Damn.
What actually got you to fire that arrow in the first place? I'm wondering.
Well, Jova, I mean, the game is still going. I might as well do something to keep myself active. Why not?
Yeah, again, while this section is nice, it does, I feel, have once again that pacing issue where
it
some
goes
sections
for
can
way
drag
too
on.
long. And again, if I recall correctly, this is a case where if at any enemy reaches Shen at any point, you might as well just restart.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And I don't think there are many checkpoints, if any at all.
Like I said, if you use the aftershock, I forgot what it is. Aftertouch, that's it. Aftertouch, that's it. If you use aftertouch, which is this, you should be able to hit all of them just fine. But as you can see, they're very easy targets, so you should be fine.
Having
like
said,
the
I
only
also to give credit where it's due, I actually really like Kai's weapon design for her crossbow.
Sure.
It is neat, yeah. I'm guessing the only reason somebody wouldn't use aftertouch is if they're intentionally challenging themselves.
Or in Teo's case, if they don't know that you can turn out the 6-axis, because yeah, if you're doing this with the 6-axis, I can imagine it will be very painful.
It's kind of like those stereotypical images of someone in a TV movie, a TV series, having to try pretend they're playing a game with the controller and they're moving their arms all over the place. See, I'm playing, guys. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
It's like you also said, like, the controls are even apparently a bit off, even using traditional controls, since it sounds like they definitely had the 6-axis in mind from the get-go, and it seems like the traditional controls were kind of added in later.
Come on, man. I didn't mean it.
I was hit by an arrow.
No, I definitely believe that. I genuinely believe that the option to use the analog stick instead of the successors came later in development. I genuinely believe that.
There you go, crotch shot.
Hit that guy right in the crotch.
Right in the guts.
And boom. There you go. Come on, Shen, move your ass.
I'm waiting.
Covering some slack.
And also he's covering the part that was not hit by the arrow. It was hit on his left shoulder.
Great
Actually,
continuity.
it's not even in his chest anymore, even though we last saw it.
He only took out the most of it, some of it's still in it.
And now, wait, now he's just fine?
Or at least willing to give a hug like that. There's the arrow.
Has chosen her path. Now we must follow ours.
Wow.
Oh, I love what he says now.
Bye.
I have a comeback for what he's about to say.
I'm too old for this shit.
Under the men, through life and death. Why do these girls never listen to a word I say?
Because you're an asshole. Like.
Okay, not for not for nothing, but as much as I did like that cutscene, its tone feels awfully chipper, given how he was literally limping like he had one foot in the grave, and then suddenly it's a lot more upbeat.
You know, I'm starting to get really tired of you. Can you just die already, Whiptail? Like seriously, like her spiel is so tiring.
Don't you see, sister? I know you. Give me the sword. I mean, and like, here's a good question. Why should she give you the sword? You've been nothing but an asshole.
Fuck.
You pretty much shattered her worldview by revealing that her foster father, actual father for all we know, tried to kill her and whatnot. What reason does she have to give you the sword? She's been kicking your butt this fight too. Like, may want to take some classes in villain charisma. Fish girl, I don't even remember
Her name is Whiptail.
Whiptail.
Get it?
So-
Because it says she has a tail.
And a whip.
There's a whip. It says
Sounds like a Mega Man ZX Advent name.
It's like the George Lucas school of naming things.
Alright. Yeah, just keep pounding on her. Like I said, you have a vase over there on the left if you need to refill your health, so you should be fine. It's actually much like the true harder boss. Like it's much better than the final boss, because in the final boss you don't have any phases to refill your health. So when you get to the final boss, you basically have to defeat all 3 phases of that final boss on just one life bar, and yeah, it's not particularly fun. Fortunately, the game's checkpoint system saves after each phase, so you can always just die if you need a refill of health when you start a new phase.
Also, where did the music went?
Isn't it?
I guess he was too tired stringing though. That
Probably what happened too is sometimes some of these older games do this, where they have the track play, the track ends, and they
forgot. And there's a glitch where it doesn't make it loop. I
fortunately.
think there is still a track. I was joking because I hear some percussions, but they're very low key.
I guess I guess they were going for the ambient thing, you know.
Probably. Yeah, because the previous phases were a bit more, bombastic.
I guess I don't know what to tell you.
Like,
The music is.
Yeah, Jova, you're the music expert.
I'm not asking for it to be like fork and stuff where there's music all the freaking time, but
The music of this game is very uneven at times. Like, sometimes it's weird in like, well, it is very low volume to a point where you can barely hear it. And not necessarily in a clever way, more in just the way that, the sound editor forgot to pump up the volume a bit. All the same, a lot of the tunes are unfortunately a bit generic. But like I mentioned, some just don't match the tone of their scenes well either, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Again, the God of War games knew how to make even music that matched the immense challenges that Kratos had to conquer, even since the first game.
Yep. Alright, almost.
This definitely feels like, I wonder if Ninja Fury did not like their first game, and that's why this one is so try-hard, as with later games in the repertoire would be. Because,
Alright,
okay,
here we go.
going off of what I've heard of their first game, it was definitely different from the norm. Oh, here we go. Whoa!
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Loading. There you go.
What a load.
Hey Andy, how you doing?
Where did the water went?
Shut up. That's why.
Wait, I thought it was Nariko, now it's Nariko.
I think it's pronounced both ways.
Me rushing back to rescue my father.
Whatever.
Pervert.
What?
Terribly green around the gills.
Ah.
I to feel my legs.
You're not really, don't seem to be
But you
hurt
didn't
from
even
the
get
spine.
impaled around the legs.
Also,
It's
where's
like
the
you got-
blood? This game is rated PEGI 18 if I remember correctly. Where is the blood?
Also, this may not be a good time to mention, but that sword is clipping through her clothes.
Yeah, like I said, the blood will actually help masquerading this effect.
Yeah. And remember, this is a pre.
Ow.
She's
And
dead.
remember this.
Snaps her neck.
And remember the cutscenes in this
there's the blood.
game.
She didn't even leave a hole in her stomach.
Yeah, and remember the cutscenes in this game are pre-rendered movies, so they could. This is not a graphical glitch of any kind. You could very easily edit the cutscenes to show whatever you want because they're not even rendering it in the game engine.
Days ago. What time is it? Did Frank Miller
Good
took over?
question.
Yes.
I lost you.
Uh,
I needed you, but you
What,
left
me?
Yes.
but remember, she's talking to us, but I think she's talking to a
Hey.
fictional representation of the teacher of Heavenly Sword.
The sword, yeah, because remember, Andy Serkis stole the sword.
Me.
Do not abandon me. Not now. I need you the most.
I'm finding a restrictive order.
Nariko, I'm not the one playing the game.
I am. She's talking to me.
Blame
Alright, next chapter.
All right. Chapter 3. Kai's mission.
Kai.
So yeah, we're going to actually play as Kai because since Nariko was captured as well as the Heavenly Sword, she's gonna need help from Kai. So
I
thought
think
she was
chapter
killed
3
because
is the
usually
one where I
whenever-
actually stopped playing, but I forgot the specific point. I will mention when we get to it.
sure.
I thought that she was dead because usually her being here doesn't that usually signify when she dies before
She's
the sword
recollecting
brings
her
back to
memories,
life?
Jova.
But don't you see, Jova?
Which also means
Go on.
Which also means that it's clear that at some point she will actually get back the sword and face properly Boahn.
Don't you see, Jova? I must peel back the memories one by one. If I have to remember what happened, I might as well start here.
I guess to give it credit, at least the memories are in order, unlike Freon Two Souls.
Yeah. All right.
Hooray.
Then the next time, everybody, where we start chapter 3.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.